Hi friends, I'm Jill Ovnick. Thank you for joining us for Healthy Facts and Vegan Gal February recipes. We're making some great stuff today. First thing on our list is going to be a millet pudding from my dear friend LuAnn. Millet is an ancient grain. In the history books, over 10,000 years ago, it was one of the 5 sacred grains in China, and it's a very small, kind of looks like couscous. It doesn't have a lot of flavor. It's really quite flavorless. So you just add different things to it. So it's very versatile. You can use it in place of rice, any kind of grain. It's really good for you, high in fiber. And so we're going to get started with putting some pineapple juice in a pan. I've already started the heat. Got 4 cups of pineapple juice here and a little bit of water. We're going to bring that to a boil and then get the millet going. It's going to need to cook for about an hour, and then we're going to add some of our other ingredients. And this is one of my favorite dishes. It's just a delicious pudding that can be eaten as a snack or for breakfast. I'm going to put our millet in and let it go. We'll be back later. We're on with our pudding mixture now that the millet has absorbed all of the pineapple juice as it's been cooking in the pineapple juice. Isn't that brilliant to cook a grain in something sweet like pineapple juice? And then, according to LuAnn, we want about a cup of the crushed pineapple to go back into the finished product. So we're going to just let that drain for a second over this. So we'll blend up the rest of our ingredients. Maybe we'll actually, we need that blender. Hold on. I got a bowl. Here we go. We'll let it drip here for a second. Okay, so we'll put the rest of the crushed pineapple in here and the juice that's in the crushed pineapple. Of course, you can use fresh pineapple, but this is an easy way to go. And then we've got some cashews. Now LuAnn said to rinse and drain those. I did not, yikes, but it'll work out. Lemon juice, agave or other sweetener of choice, and a half a cup of water. 2 into it once. Convenient. There we go. Okay, and then we need a little bit of vanilla and a little bit of salt. Half a teaspoon salt and a tablespoon of vanilla. Vanilla is always good in your dessert and sweet recipes. And this will look pretty with some strawberries or raspberries. Vanilla. We'll get this blended up and then we'll add the millet and we'll be done. It is so delicious. It is so creamy and sweet. We're going to put some raspberries in there. And it'll firm up a little bit as it cools, but it's delicious warm. Enjoy. Making a really great soup today with roasted vegetables. And I made it the other day with kohlrabi, and it was so delicious. I love kohlrabi, but I didn't have kohlrabi at the store today, so I picked parsnips as an alternative. Parsnips are really good for you, and I like the flavor in them. We're just chopping all the vegetables. They're pretty tough and thick, so you just want to chop these down a little bit. We're going to roast the vegetables in kind of large chunks, and that'll make it easy for us. And I left the garlic peel on as well, but I just cut the ends off so they'll be easy to slip out of the cloves. You can peel them all the way if you like. And I'm putting potatoes in this recipe because again, I did have the kohlrabi, and I just thought, I'm going to do had potatoes. That's the great thing about cooking. You just use what you have on hand and improvise. So we're just cutting up some of these potatoes here. We have carrots in here. We have onions. We have tomatoes. We have the garlic. And we have some butternut squash. Butternut squash is such a great, practical, wonderful squash. This whole part of it is very edible, and it peels, pretty easily. It's just kind of economical because you get a lot of squash for your money out of that, and it's delicious. And when you cook it nice and then you blend it up, it's got that nice sweet flavor and all that good beta carotene in there. Okay, so what we're going to do is just add a little bit of oil, enough to just coat a little bit, and then salt and pepper this all, and it'll be ready for the oven. We're going to bake this at 400 degrees for about 45 minutes. You might want to stir it once or twice, just check it out. So with this soup, while the veggies are in the oven, I'm going to put 2 quarts of broth, and you can make your own broth too with water and a nice veggie bouillon. There's all sorts of them out there, but I got these on sale and easy. When I make soup, I usually make a lot, as you can see, and then you have it. You can freeze it. You can, feed your neighbor. Usually like to do that. And then I'll put a little fresh herbs in here and I have some rosemary and some thyme. This is just going to help flavor the soup nicely. We're going to just let this cook with the herbs. I'll throw a few more in for about 20 minutes. Then what we're going to do after that is get some escarole, or in this case today I'm going to use kale. I did make it with the escarole the other day. It was fabulous, but you can use whatever you want. One of the great things about cooking. We'll get the kale and the beans, and then when the veggies come out of the oven, we'll puree most of them and keep some of them in for like a little chunks of vegetables. But it's all up to you how you want to see that final product. So we'll be back. Okay, here's our escarole soup, and this is the one I made the other day that has the kohlrabi, which is really yummy in it. Again, you can use some of those fresh herbs that you threw in the pot if you were using them, and you can blend them up. You're going to blend up the tomatoes, the onions, the butternut squash, but then save some of the items you're going to cut up depending on what you want, and then the beans. So it's really up to you how you want the final product to look, but it is delicious. It tastes wonderful, and using those roasted vegetables and fresh herbs really makes a difference. Very healthy. I'm going to show you just how to make a really quick and simple curry dinner. I love curry, and what you've probably seen me do this before is my favorite way to make rice is in the oven. So it just turns out really lovely, and it's so easy. I put a little garlic in it too this time, and you can do a bay leaf and other kinds of seasonings while it's baking in the oven. You just coat your casserole dish with some coconut oil and use 1 part brown rice to 2 parts water. So easy, I love it, and it smells good in the house. Okay, so I'm going to steam some vegetables. I've got some carrots here, and those are going to go in first. Carrots are going to take longer to steam, so we'll start those right away. And then I've got some cauliflower and green beans. You can do whatever you want. I thought about peas, again, whatever. I love cilantro, so that's going to go on at the end. And if you would like to use some tempeh, that's an option. Tempeh is a whole soybean product, and it's a fermented soybean. It's very good for your digestion, and it's very whole, like more of a whole product, a soy product. So very good for you, safe, and I know we have a little bit of extra soy in the diet due to what we're feeding the cows. So typically I will try to avoid a lot of products with soy protein isolates and that kind of thing. But every once in a while, the tempeh, the soy milk, the tofu, those things are safe. And for the sauce, I'm going to just use a can of light coconut milk and some Thai curry paste and some, to your liking. We'll taste what this like. And then a little curry powder, which I have to get over here, and some lime juice. And that's it. So it's a simple sauce. I'm going to put the curry powder in a second and taste it, little salt, and get it to where I like it, and it'll just, kind of throw it together, serve over the rice, put a little cilantro on top, a little lime wedge, and you're good to go. I had this dressing, it was fabulous, at a restaurant, and they called it their house dressing, a restaurant that wasn't even like a health conscious, but I knew there was nutritional yeast in there, so did a little investigating, and I altered a little bit, but it's delicious, so it's called the house dressing. So 4 cloves of fresh garlic, just put these in the blender, and in here I've got some cashews, 1/3 of a cup cashews soaking with 1/3 of a cup tamari, and 1/3 of a cup of water, and 1/3 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. So we got 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, and then 1/3 with the cashews, and then 1/2 cup of nutritional yeast, and I'm still experimenting with the oil. Now the restaurant put a lot of oil in there, and I'm going to see what this tastes like without the oil today. It's delicious. I don't think it needs any oil, so we're going to leave it out. You can add a little oil if you like, It's wonderful. You can do some variations on it, but it's a great dressing. Well, I warmed up the sauce a little bit, and there you go. Just throw a little bit of the cilantro on, and it's an easy curry dinner. Hey, I love cooking good, healthy food because it sustains us so well. We can stay young longer, and a little exercise, eating well, and we're gonna live this great quality life. So keep doing what you're doing. Shop at your local health food store. Thanks for watching. I'm Jill Oatman.